Simple as that. And if you're unsure, keep it until later. It's not a big deal. But if something right away is like,
let me fall down again.
Welcome back to the Christian Women's Health Collective podcast. This is week 2 of March. We are focused this month on decluttering. And what does that mean? That means any kind of decluttering, whether it's something that is tangible, like your home, or maybe it's your mind. Let's dive into that. This week, we're going to talk about what, but I also want to remind you, if you didn't see last week's podcast, that we have created a new format. We are giving you a taste of what we are doing in our membership every month or every week. So now you're going to get to see a little bit of what we're providing in our trainings, and then we will go behind the paywall and provide our training for the membership. Our membership is currently $7 a month, friends. $7. That's all it costs, and you get all of our trainings every single week. We post a new training every week, and it has something to do with the monthly topic that will hopefully help you make your life a lot better. So while we talk about what we are going to declutter, I am going to start off with Miss Breanne.
Okay, cool. So as far as what to declutter, that is kind of a loaded question because that really depends on what your goals are, I guess, with the decluttering. What are you trying to get back? What is your goal? So when we started our decluttering journey, the first thing we did was we decluttered extra what's the word? I keep thinking appointments, but that's not the word. I'm sorry. My brain is losing it. Anyways, obligations. We decluttered all the extra obligations in our life. So if the kids were in 3 activities, we cut them back to 1. If we were volunteering for 3 things, we cut it back to 1. So we tried to minimize how many times we had to leave and go somewhere every single day. So we decluttered our schedule for starters, which is huge. If you want to have more family time, if you want to have more time for doing the things that you love and enjoy, like traveling or exercise or whatever it is, declutter your time, declutter your days. That's a huge thing. The second thing that I want to touch on real quick is just with fasting. You have to declutter your mind from all the false information that we've been fed, growing up over the last however long, that fasting isn't safe, that, you're going to be weak, you're going to be sick, it's unhealthy. You have to eat. You should eat 6 times a day. In fact, you should constantly be eating snacks. And all of that is BS. I'm just going to say flat out, all BS. None of it backed by science whatsoever. Fasting is 100% safe. You should not be eating constantly. You should be minimizing snacks between meals. In fact, only eating 3 meals a day and not eating snacks between is a form of fasting. And the fewer times that you raise your insulin levels with eating, the better your health will be. So, yeah, that's a huge mindset thing. So there's lots of ways to declutter. And in decluttering your stuff, get rid of everything that does not bring you joy. Yes, I said it. Marie Kondo, your house. It works. I'm just going to tell you, it works. I love her book. I love her method. And it's super helpful for people who don't know what to get rid of. You pick up something, you're like, does this bring me joy or not? Simple as that. And if you're unsure, keep it until later. It's not a big deal. But if something right away is like, I have bad memories attached to this. This is from a previous relationship or a friendship, or something went wrong, or, that was a hard time in my life. I don't really want to remember that. Get rid of the excess baggage. If someone gave you a gift and you hate it, you are under no obligation to keep that. Okay? Get rid of the baggage and the things that are holding you back. So yeah, lots of ways to declutter. I will stop talking now. Go for it, Julie.
There are so many ways. It's kind of hard, but when you start thinking about it, it's like the more where you can declutter, it's kind of like the more freedom that you have, really, because it's a hold, it's bondage, right? Yeah. It really is. So I'm a hoarder. I'm an addict. I'm a hoarder. and I could hoard stuff. Like I could keep, if it was my family's, oh, I need it, memories. And that was very difficult for me. But a lot of those memories were not good memories. So those were a lot of the what's I needed to get rid of, is the things that had been in boxes for years that I've carried around. So Leigh Ann talked about how many times she's moved. So basically I move every 5 years. This current home is the longest I've been here. But so my life average is every 5 years I move to a new house. And so many things I've just carried with me, and they've stayed in a box through every house. They've never come out of the box. It's like they have a permanent home. And why are they still there? So through my declutter journey, those were some of the things that I decided to get rid of. Is what are the things that either no longer bring me joy, like Bree said, or what are the things that cause me anxiety when I do unbox them? And why do I have stuff that doesn't bring me joy that I continue to unbox and go back and look at? You can take pictures of them, just like we said, and put it in a safe place so that when you do need that little hug of a memory, it's there. Because sometimes it is a comfort to go back and look at those things, or sometimes it's a comfort for that memory. But I think too, the simplifying, having the space and the simplification of it is not only like a joy in a thing, but it's joy in your surrounding. And that really changes your outlook to the day when you walk in and you have joy in your own home, or you have joy in the surrounding of your home. It almost opens your heart up to say, okay, I want new things. Or to say, okay, how do I exercise today in this beautiful space? And I think that's something when you're looking at what do you want to get rid of, vision what it looks like today and what it could look like before. So I really want to encourage you, when you're looking at when we're talking about the what do we want to get rid of, for me, it was what brought me anxiety, what brought me stress, what is in my way, what do I not need? So I really want you to walk around and just think about those what's, Okay, there's a lot that we can talk about when it comes to decluttering. So get you a notebook, get you a list started. Don't get overwhelmed with the list, because there are things that we're going to check off as we go through the trainings, but just get your mind going. Sheri, what you got?
Well, I'm getting good stuff from you guys. So for the what, I mean, in my house, there's a lot of what's. There really is. There's a lot of boxes of things that I need to go through. And there's a lot of paper that, paper stacks up, it clutters up, and paper drives me crazy. And I know that, those are things, those what's are on my list for sure. And I do know that, when I have gone through, and I do go through different boxes periodically, and I made, a goal of, okay, let's just do one box. Let's just go through one box. And there were some times where I couldn't even get through a whole box, in a couple of hours. And it's like, and you end up putting it back in the box, not all of it, but, some of it goes back. And then I need to go back to that box and do it again. And, until I can get rid of that box, and figuring out what do I need to keep, what do I need to get rid of, and that kind of thing. I can't just toss out a box, because I don't even know what's in some of them, to toss them out. So there is a lot of what's. I know that I think I mentioned too, is just a lot of it's going to be going through kid stuff, my parents' stuff. So a lot of different little what's that need to be looked at. So on to you, Leigh Ann.
Well, there are definitely a lot of what's in our house. We are all about getting rid of things in our house, because we don't like having clutter, but we have clutter because, as we said in the last podcast, we grow into whatever environment we're in, which is what I've always done. I've thought that I wanted to be a minimalist before, and I cook so much that that's kind of a hard thing for me to conceptualize, as having a small kitchen. So I don't know that I'll actually get there. But I want to shift gears a little bit on the what, because we're all going to talk about decluttering our homes. But I want to talk about, from a brain health perspective, decluttering our thoughts. Because while the clutter in our home is, for a lot of us, hard and challenging, the stress that can bring forth is something that we don't need to live with. So we need to declutter our thoughts. We need to work on getting rid of resentments. We need to work on getting rid of anger. We need to work on getting rid of intolerance of whatever it may be. You might open the news and look at it, whatever side of the fence that you're on, and just get angry immediately. Those kinds of thoughts are the things that keep us awake at night. And when we're not sleeping, we're not taking care of our brain. When we're not eating good foods because our thoughts are taking us into places that are forcing us into making bad decisions around our health, we're not taking care of our brain health. And as someone who focuses on Alzheimer's prevention, this is something that is highly, highly imperative for us in terms of decluttering, because our thoughts can take us down some really dark roads. So that is going to be my focus in the training that's coming up behind the paywall. And we're going to talk some more in depth about decluttering both homes, other spaces, getting our fasting on, decluttering our bodies of bad things running through it. We have a lot of decluttering the what's coming up behind that paywall. So I encourage you to go grab that membership right now for $7. And if you choose not to, then I'm going to ask you to please
subscribe,
share,
and hit that notification bell so you get notified every time we put out a new podcast. In the meantime, we're going to go do some training. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.